I have my bird joining me in this video. I do let the bird fly around a little bit, and she likes to investigate quite a bit, so I'm sure she's gonna maybe sit there and listen for a bit. But in this video, I want to talk about um, the three types of essays that I will accept for your course essay for the big paper. You know, the one that you're to begin writing and thinking about from the beginning of the course all the way to the end. So there's the informational approach, there's the persuasive approach, and then there's the observational approach. And I want to make sure you understand the three different types, and then you can pick which one you want to use. And sometimes these overlap a little bit. And if you want to sort of use an approach that mixes two of the three, that's fine as well. But just so you know what your options are. Okay, so a paper that is purely instructional is just going to look at a topic that you pick and is going to gather information from it from different sources that you use online or handheld or documentaries, movies that you might watch, and you will present an overview of this topic that you decide to write on. You're not providing any new information. You're not providing any anything that's not already out there. You're just going and finding information, coming back with the facts and the definitions and the information you find, and then picking and choosing what you have so that you can put together a an essay that will describe something or will inform the reader about it. Now you're not picking a side. You're not trying to argue a position. You're just simply writing, if you will, a Wikipedia page on the topic, but a small one. And if you're using informative, I would definitely see what Wikipedia has to say about it. And then you can follow that model and write a smaller version of that. So you're welcome to write the informative paper that way. Just be sure to use the right amount of sources that you need to use and provide a reference list at the end. The second approach is what I and other English teachers call the position paper or the persuasive argument. Sometimes it's simply called the argumentative paper. But this is more or less a thesis-driven paper where you go and you research something that has controversy surrounding it. In other words, it's a debatable topic. Notice that for the informational approach, you're not debating anything. You're just giving the information. But for this second type of course essay paper, you don't have to write all three, but you can pick which one you want to focus on or do depending on how you want to grow or what you're comfortable with. But the argumentative paper seeks to convince the reader that one side of a debate or a controversial issue is correct, or one version of a side. Like, in other words, it could be a position that is qualified. It's not 100% leaning to the left or the right, but it's somewhat in the middle, or it's a qualified approach. In other words, let's go ahead and pick a debatable topic like gun control. And if you want to write an argument about that, then you have to go and you learn about this issue, about what people are saying about this issue of gun control. And you're going to find a lot of voices out there, a lot of different camps, if you will, of people that think one way or another about this. But generally, you can divide them into four groups, all right? There's the group that says yes, 100%. Whatever it is, yes. Like, we want to have complete, banning of guns. No guns at all. And then you're going to find a group that says, yes, that's what we believe in. On the other end of the spectrum, you're going to find a group that, given that thesis, they're going to say, no, never, not at all. Guns should not even be regulated. So those are your extreme positions. And you're going to find that they're populated by people, maybe not as much as the positions that are not so extreme. So once you have the two extreme positions of any sort of debatable topic, in this case as an example, gun control, you'll find that really a lot of people are going to be between the two. Like you're going to have a group that says, yes, we should have a ban on guns, but we should also allow them to be bought and held by a certain group of people. They need to have background checks and all of this, and they'll provide a way for it to be yes, but yes, in the main, let's put this off limits, except for people that own property over 40, whatever, I don't know. I mean, they'll come up with a list that will be the exception. And then others would be, you have the other extreme of no, not at all. Then you're going to have the no, but. In other words, it's a camp that's less radical, of believers that say no, guns should not be regulated, but there should be some basic laws that keep, a 7-year-old from buying a gun or something like that, or a person with a violent history from buying a gun. So you basically, when you go and you research a topic for the argumentative approach, very usually you'll find that your research is going to lead you into investigating 4 positions, the yes but, the no but. And then you're going to find which one you align with. And then you write your paper trying to explain why you think that camp you're aligning with is correct. And then, you can close by talking about some of the other beliefs and why you don't think they're as strong as some people think they are. So that would be the argumentative approach. Now, the third approach that I want you to consider is the observational approach. And because this is not usually taught in college writing classes, I'm using the readings for this course to kind of promote this approach. And the essays that you read are really this type of writing, where you're not necessarily picking a controversial issue. You're not necessarily just providing information. You're trying to create a reading experience by writing about an observation that you've observed that is interesting and complicated and is worth writing about. So if the observation is so obvious that everyone is going to know what you're talking about in the first place, you don't necessarily have to write an essay on that. But if the observation is complicated or interesting or has a twist to it or is actually about something very few people know about and you're going to bring this to light, then I would love for you to write an essay on that. The essay can have a much looser form to it. Its main goal is to create interest, maintain interest, and reward interest for a smart readership. In other words, for an audience that is basically can pay attention, can follow the reading, and is a thinking, it can appreciate a textual experience like a good movie or a good song. This is a good essay. It was fun to read, or it was interesting. The main point here is not to convince anybody of a position or whatnot. The main point is to give your reader an interesting reading experience. And so you don't have to pick a debatable topic. You don't have to just give information on something. That's what you have to figure out for this approach, is how are you going to write about something in a way that's going to hold somebody's interest. It could be yourself. It could be an event. It could be another person. It could be an institution. It could be all sorts of stuff. But what topic are you going to pick that's going to be inherently interesting to people? And then how are you going to sort of hold their hand and walk them through this experience that you're going to build for them to say, hey, I just spent 15 minutes reading this essay and it was great. It was just really worth my time. So the essays that I give you, I'm trying to illustrate when I say I give you, the essays that I give you to read for the assignments in the course, in the work folders, those essays are trying to do this very thing. They're just trying to pick something that they feel that they can capture an audience with. And they're going to have devices at the beginning to try to, with their title or with the first couple of paragraphs, to create interest, to pull someone in. And they're going to try to keep that interest going. They're going to try to maintain it with detail, with interesting observations or information. That's why picking the right topic matters, because you have to maintain that interest. And at the end, you have to have it so that your reader feels like they read about something relevant and interesting, and it was worth the time. At least the time doesn't feel like a waste of time. And they look up and they said, hey, I've already read 3/4 of this essay. That's pretty incredible. Usually I don't read that much of it. I'll just skim and skip. But this one kept my attention. So the observational essay is much more of a loose form, and it's designed to help you create interest, maintain it, and reward it for your reader.